Eviliv3 is television. It's like abducting your parents.
Welcome to An Enlightened Perspective. My name is Reverend Campbell, and I'm being joined, as per usual, with Patrick DeMarco. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good and good. I want to thank everyone for joining us in the chat room and for tuning in before the show, just for a little bit of back and forth. So let me give a shout out to Wes. Dog's my co-pilot. I'm a Satanist. And Lauren. Who else we got here? Mr. Face Eating Cancer. Good to see you, man. Dallas, thanks for making it. Valeria, thank you so much. Mr. Victor, how's it going, man? And Patrick DeMarco, you're on both sides at once. You're blowing my mind. How is that even possible?
It's because I have my phone, because I can never see the live chat, so I figured this time I can actually look at it.
Nice. You're going to be looking down the whole show.
Hey, fuck you!
How's it going, Ricky? Andres, thank you guys so much for joining us. Colombia! Hey, there's a caravan going over next there. You got to stop it for us. Unless you're in it. Then, cool. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. All right, so I want to give a quick shout out. These are all these shows that I produce, all these things that I put out on the YouTube channel. They're all brought to you by the patrons of Speak of the Devil, and of course, benefactor patrons Ara and Da. Thank you both so much. It is because of you that this actually exists. I would just be having a nap right now if it wasn't. So, we did get some more accusatorium patrons, so thank you guys so much for your support. But this is An Enlightened Perspective. This is episode 4. Did you ever think, Patrick, that we would get to an episode 4?
No, I didn't think we'd get through episode 1. So I'm just glad to just be along for the ride. Yeah, so, it's just funny to me because it's there's a lot of shows out there and shows with satanic people doing satanic podcasts, but I noticed that we have the most views and likes, so that's most important. Keep those checks coming.
That's most important. I think more important is the message, the core of what we're about, and that is to entertain and inform in a very evil, dark, like the fruits of the devil, evil way,
It's kind of like we're the AOL satanic phone. Hello, if you'd like to speak to a Satanist, press 1. If you've chosen Reverend Campbell.
Thank you, Joe, for joining us, man. Okay, so we've got a lot of different stories to go over. I don't think, as per usual, we're going to get through them all, but a lot of it's just sort of germane to what's happening in our world right now. We've got a lot of misappropriation of satanic imagery or iconography. We've got wildfires. We've got climate change. So let's just take it slow and easy and see where we can go. But first and foremost, let's dive in. I want to talk a little bit about this third side intelligence that was released on the Church of Satan news feed, news.churchofsatan.com. For those of you with an intertube, you can type that into it and it'll speed you down the Satan highway. This is primarily about American Horror Story using LaVey as a character. What do you think of this?
I just think it's irresponsible behavior. If they're going to here's the thing is they could have made him look like LaVey and not used his name and did whatever they wanted, but they actually used his name. So if you're going to use somebody's name, you should represent them the best way possible, not this. This is horrid. I literally came out of my chair. I was like, what the fuck is this?
So did you finish watching the entire episode or episodes?
After this part, I was done. I said, fuck this show. It can suck a bag of dicks.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I just did, and then someone's like, well, Stevie Nicks was on the show and there's no problem with that. I was like, Stevie Nicks played herself, okay? Anton did not play himself. It's just this Iranian Arab, whatever this guy is.
They weakened at Bernie's LaVey.
Oh, geez, man. And yeah, that'd be awesome. I would watch that. But this was just, and they just misrepresent everything. And I understand that you're going to it's fictional. I get it. But if you're going to use a real person in a fictional way, at least keep true to what they are. I just think it's very irresponsible. I would say it's irresponsible behavior. I mean, And that's just kind of like, well, they don't care. It's fictional, whatever. It gives people the wrong idea. I just think it was irresponsible. And I think his portrayal was not good. I think it was pretty bad. And it doesn't represent the man. So they're like, oh, I heard about it. I can just picture the board meeting where they're pitching this shit. They go, oh, he's the real Anton LaVey. We'll just use his name. Ha ha ha. And they didn't realize who he was or what he was all about. I think if they kept true to who he was, then the show would have had a much bigger impact. But now it's just a farce. It's just a travesty.
But they wouldn't have been able to use who he was if they went to the real version of who he was, because clearly he did not want to support any type of Islamic Judeo-Christian ideology, because that's what the whole show was about, right? It was about the Antichrist, which is a very Christian idea. Yeah. So they couldn't use it at all. But okay, so I'm a little on the fence on this one, to be honest. I understand and accept the concerns that administration and many Satanists have, and yourself included, have shared. For me, I would never go to a drama television show to look for truth. I would go to be entertained. I rarely watch a biopic and expect it to be filled with truth, because if anyone's ever taken a screenwriting class, you take what is reality and then you distill it down. So you may have 7 characters in a story. Well, as far as development goes, you can't develop 7 characters. So you're going to have to just, take traits of those 7 and make 2 different characters rather than 7 different characters. So you're already adjusting the context of the story in order to pay the ultimate, story arc forward, or the character arc forward. And so the idea of using a historical figure in a show and misrepresenting who they were in real life, I suspect is done all the fucking time. It's just that we're so close to this one that's why it really bothers us.
Well, it's not like, you look at Night of the Museum, how they portray Genghis Khan and the Pharaoh and all that shit. Like, we laugh, we think that's funny. These people have been dead for, there's not a real representation. We can't really identify with who they were or what they were about. And we know that that's a fictional story and all this other stuff. But they're using his real name. It would be different if he was Anton something or something LaVey or some kind of representation. But to use the man's name, that's like using your name, Reverend Adam Campbell, and portraying you like somewhere you don't want to be. I don't think they should have used the real name. I think they could have used the imagery of him and used the stuff like that, but not his actual real name. I think that was irresponsible. I think that's not okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do it, and I hear what you're saying too, and I agree, but at the same time, they used his real name. If you're going to do a fictional version of Anton LaVey, then you can't use his name. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That it's irresponsible. It's just how I feel, and I understand that you're on the fence about it, but at the same time, it's the way I feel is like, if they were gonna represent him, that's fine. Just don't use his name, because now it gives a connotation. Yes, we know it's fake. Yes, we know it's fictional. But after the Satanic Panic and everything like that, why fuel the flames of this fire? Why don't give it a if it's gonna be fictional, just use his imagery, but don't use his name.
Yeah, I like what David said in the chat room. Anton Lopez. Just do an Anton Lopez.
Right. It looked like a lot like that fat dude from Borat.
So Dogs, my co-pilot, says, we work so hard to get the idea across that we're not devil worshippers, though. This is just kind of starts that watershed all over again. And that is echoed in your sentiments as well. And I totally accept that. I think that's a valid point that needs to be considered for us. But again, we're in a bubble. We're in the satanic bubble. People, even remotely connected with you, like your brothers and sisters, they don't understand the complexities and realities that are inherent within Satanism as a religion versus Satanism as an idea that Christians weave into their little tales and stories to scare people, or idiots that pose as Satanists like TST in order to then, we'll get to them in a second, in order to really ride the popularity of the cult iconography, the reputation, in order to sell their brand of soap. or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, most people, we are so concerned about it because it's misrepresenting the man who founded the religion founded the organization that created the religion that we're a part of. But people aren't using that as it was on American Horror Story, so that must be the real Satanism. And here's the real thing. It's on a fucking show where they have zombies and ghosts and witches flying, and they have, no one's using that as the fucking justification of an understanding of any type of a religion. I mean, come on.
No. It's completely far-fetched, and I agree with you. I also think that, like I said before, if you're going to do a fictional representation of somebody, you don't use their real name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes to goblins and all that stuff, and the way they portray the show, and it's just like I said, it's irresponsible. But you know what? The people that created this didn't give a shit. I mean, Can you imagine the backlash if they used Jesus Christ and they portrayed him like they portrayed Anton? They'd have
it'd be like Mel Gibson's Passion for the Christ.
There's a worse one than that one, and that was William Dafoe, and it was The Last Temptation of Christ.
Oh right, yes, back in the day.
People went fucking bonkers over that shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's like, oh, well, you guys could just, it's no big deal. But, you portray the fucking Jesus Christ Savior and you portray him like that, people lose their shit. So if you're a Satanist, it's okay to be mad about this. And if you're not, that's okay too.
Yeah, and here's the other part of it that I kind of want to get across is that I don't even like this show. I watched I stopped mid whatever season was the circus one, because I just could not hang. It starts strong and then it turns to shit every single time. And so I was not willing to go through that mess again. And as soon as I heard about this, I was like, well, I'm not going to, I don't care enough to even watch it for that sake. It's just, they lost me so long ago to act like I care at this point. And here's the other part of it. Anton LaVey lives forever through the administration of the Church of Satan, through the Satanic Bible, and through every single fucking Satanist. The reality of who Anton LaVey is lives through all of us in all of that. And any type of individual who ever did any reading into the Satanic Bible, decided they weren't a Satanist, they still know the fucking truth. And so, again, we can get all up in arms about it, but the truth is ever present out there. And whether your niece knows the reality of it because she watched American Horror Story or not is irrelevant. We are beyond the point of where you can change the realities of someone's past history through a fictional horror drama. It's just, we're way beyond that. Especially for someone like Anton LaVey. So I understand how people get upset about it, and I understand the potential implications, but I don't ever see the reality of those fears coming into play. It's like, if it would be one thing if it were a biopic, or if it were a news story. But just totally got wrong.
But that's where they can use his real name. They used his real name, and they portrayed him in a fictional way that wasn't representative of who he was or what he was about. Mm-hmm. So if it was, like you said, if it was a biopic or one of those type of shows, then yes, they're putting facts with the man. This is just a gross misrepresentation. I mean, he's like the Zoolander of Satanism. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's just irresponsible. I mean, and he's the only one that they actually use his real name. Mm-hmm. So in all of it, it's all fictional, but this time they chose to portray the man. Why did you say it was Aleister Crowley? Wouldn't that be a lot easier? Because you know what I'm saying? No one really, that would have been more, this would have been more suitable for it. I just think it just was irresponsible. And that's, there's another show, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, they've redone, and it's very satanic. And they call him the Dark Lord. They don't make any reference to the devil or Satan or any of that stuff, or Anton LaVey or Alistair. It's just the Dark Lord, and it's more responsible, I think, than what this was. Mm.
Well, we're going to get to that next, because that's our next story. But maybe to wrap a little bow around this, what was at the core that Magus Gilmore wrote in that Third Side Intelligence piece that was really what is the offensive part of it. And Dogs My Co-Pilot said that it genuinely bothered her because it portrayed him as this simpering, stupid individual, and I dig that.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, absolutely. Anton LaVey was offered a cameo in The Omen, where he was just supposed to be a set piece, and they were going to have a cardboard cutout, which was supposed to be the child actor of Damien, the Antichrist in the movie. If you haven't seen The Omen, you should. I just watched it this past weekend. Love it still.
The old one?
Yeah,
The old one
yeah,
or
the
remake?
original, the original. I even
Yeah,
like the
that was-
remake just because I like some of the actors in it, but the original.
Yeah.
And so he was offered an opportunity to have, this cardboard cutout kid and just sort of like be anointing him as the Antichrist or something like that as a scene. And he absolutely refused because he didn't want to spread the misinformation that the Church of Satan and hence Satanism had anything to do with the Judeo-Christian idea of what Satan is, meaning an actual creature, it's some entity that can actually father children. That's a Christian idea, not a satanic idea. So on those grounds, he probably would have made it a little bit of cash from it, and he probably could have used it, if we're being honest. But he said no, because it would have misrepresented not only who he was, but what he created.
Right, and that's the thing, though.
You gotta appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. There is no real Satan. He's our mascot. He's our our archetype. He's not an actual, like you said, an actual creature that fathers children and all that other stuff. It's a cool idea, but it's completely fictional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with that like a whole lot, and I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah. Well, let's do this next one because you brought it up, and we were talking briefly about it before
I love this show.
I've never seen it. I love that actress from Mad Men.
Yeah.
But I've never actually seen this show. So tell me, just your sort of quick rundown. Is it a good show, a bad show, what?
I like it. I think it's a good show. It's like the dark Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's awesome. It's just very fun, and it's very cool, and it's very dark, and it's very gory. They took a lot of good stuff and did really well with it. I find it entertaining, to say the least. I think the imagery, I think the acting, the stories.
Oh, shit. We just lost you, man. I don't know if you can hear us or not. We got a message on Skype. It says our connection's bad. Fuck. Okay, well, trying to get him back. Don't you know this always fucking happens? Hey, that's my fucking icon. God damn it. Fucking stupid. If he comes back, then we'll deal with that. Okay, so this is another one of those shows that used satanic imagery in order to sell a concept that they were trying to sell, and that's this, sort of satanic witches coven that I'm guessing this kid's a member of or something. And the problem with it, I think, is that people are saying they have a problem. Oh, hold on, I gotta fucking stop this. Are you back?
Yes, I think I'm back. Am I there? You hear me?
I do not see you, but I do hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened there, but things just kind of went off the rails there.
There you are.
Okay, so I was sitting there talking. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Live action, people. It's live. It's not fake. You can still see me and everything. Okay. Good.
Yeah, we got you.
All right.
It's a little
All right,
glitchy,
so-
but we got you.
All right. So where did I leave off with my portrayal?
Well, just that it was the Harry Potter of sort of satanic, shows or something like that.
Right. It was pretty awesome, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was great, and it's fun to watch. If you get a chance to watch it, it's fun, and it's. I think it's done in such a way that it's good for young, it's good for old. It's done pretty good, and I really enjoy it. My girl's hooked on it, so naturally I'm hooked on it. So I have to watch it too. So yeah, it's fun, and it's I highly recommend it. It's just a fun show to watch, and it's entertaining, so you'll get a kick out of it. The way it represents things, it's pretty cool. I think you guys will dig it.
So the reason why this is brought up in any type of Church of Satan reference is that the media was running with the story that the Church of Satan was suing Netflix because of their use of a Baphomet statue. And the truth, of course, as we all know, is that it wasn't the Church of Satan. It was the Satanic Temple, and it's based because they claim that it's based off of their pedophilia Baphomet that they created and used as a sort of prop for Oklahoma. And so there's this really wonderful piece that Reverend Joel Ethan wrote and sort of laid out. Let me show you these images. Oh, shit. Give me 1 second. So this is what was in the actual show itself. Very, very similar to what TST put out. This is what TST finished and released. So yes, it's very similar, but this essay that was written did a really wonderful job of explaining, no, this actual character is free domain public use. It's been out in the ether of images for decades upon decades. And of course, you can see that the tarot card, as is pointed out in the essay, is the greatest reference that TST used, where it's a much more masculine version of the Baphomet. And you have these two figures, an Adam and Eve, or I don't know if those are supposed to be like Adam and Eve, but little devilish elves, or I don't fucking know, tarot cards, whatever.
It's Tenacious D.
Oh, okay. So it's Tenacious D, flanked by Adam and Eve devils. But I think that's where they got their inspiration originally. So what do you think about, and okay, so a couple things I want to touch on. One, does it matter if someone uses iconography like the Baphomet, for example, if other people are using it in a similar way? And two, why do people confuse us with the TST still? With TST still? So one.
I'm not going to dignify by saying their name.
It's
that's how you say yeah. So your first point about using the representation of the statue. You know what? That's a public statue. I mean, that's like getting mad for using a representation of the Ten Commandments. That's like getting mad about using a representation of Moses, even though he looks like Charlton Heston. I mean, that's just kind of the things there where you're getting upset about. They used our statue. Well, you're the only reference that's out there. Now, if they copied it verbatim, then yes, you can be very upset. But if you alter something enough times to 25%, then it's not really the same thing. So, the TST. Oh shit! I should have said their name. Now they're real. So they and they're more of a, from what I gather, a political organization. They want to grab some quick cash. They want to splash the papers like they usually do. People confuse us, I think, with them because they're the ones that are up front and in everybody's face. They hear the S word. They just think we're all part of the same band of morons. So I think that's why. I think what they're doing is stupid. I don't think it has any bias, but they just are looking to grab attention for themselves. Yeah. And if they can get some money out of it, they can. Let's just go back to like movie representation. Do you remember The Hangover?
Yeah, of course.
Remember Mike Tyson's tattoo, right? And one of the characters got that same tattoo on his head. Yeah. The tattoo artist actually copyrighted that design.
Oh, wow.
And they did not seek permission. So he sued them. So the thing is that he sued them and he got a lot of money. They either had to pay him or digitally remove and change the tattoo and all that. Yeah, it would have cost them a fortune to do that. So they just paid him to shut up. So and now he doesn't tattoo anymore. He just does podcasting and whatever. But that's kind of the same thing. And the TST is kind of taking a page from that. And they're like, oh, this statue's copyrighted and you can't use it and blah, blah, blah. You give this money. And drawing attention to themselves in a negative way. They could have put out a statement and said, hey, we're greatly appreciative that the, Sabrina, the teenage witch, showed a representation of our Baphomet. We truly appreciate it. I mean, they could have taken the high road. Instead, they become, they do exactly what they do in true form and act, like children. So, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, and personally, I like the statue. I think it's cool. I just think it's cool that they made a statue like that piss people off. I'm not condoning them as an organization or what they stand for. I appreciate art, and I think their art looks cool. It's a little pedophilia to me, but it's still awesome that they made a statue out of it. But to get as irate as they are and trying to sue in this thing, it's just to get fame, it's just to get money, and it's complete bullshit.
Yeah. So does the show make a deal about children being indoctrinated into Satanism, or like I'm trying to figure out why? Okay, so that's why they use that.
It's not really Satanism; it's the Dark Lord.
Oh, so, right, so the Dark Lord.
It is Satan. It is Satan. It's the Dark Lord. So these children commit to being part of the Dark Lord. They sign this book, and then their soul is, whatever, and they learn as a witch, and they go to this special witches school, which is kind of like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And they learn to be witches, and they're committed to the Dark Lord. They give away their immortal. It's yeah, but it's fun. I mean, but yeah, they're saying that's the whole thing is that you're at a certain age you're gonna write down in the book that that you're gonna become a witch, and you give your immortal life and soul over to the Dark Lord, and then in return he gives you powers and gifts and lets you go to this special witch school academy where you can practice the dark arts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's actually quite. I enjoy the show. I mean, I know it's completely far. It's not real. I mean, it's just there's no such thing.
Sure,
But yeah, but I think that brings up a point. I think that's why the TST got mad. But they represent it because they have little children by the statue of Satan, and I think that's why they use it. Now they did change the statue, I think, enough to get by, and I'm sure that they've did their research to make sure they wouldn't get sued and all that other stuff. But I don't think they really have a case because it is a statue in the public figure. I mean, if people use the city of Detroit and they don't say it's from Detroit, but they use it in like certain films, they don't get sued for that. Yeah. So I just think it's just a grab for attention in the headlines, like they usually do, and they want some money because they probably don't have a lot of it. So
well, they're also fractured as an organization, so I can totally see that.
Yeah.
This is the case where it's clearly a public domain image that's originally being altered in the first place. And yes, all the show has to say is that no, we took it from the Devil Tarot card, or whatever tarot deck this is from.
But how many different versions are there of the Baphomet and different representations? There's a gajillion of them. You can you can Google it, and there's many different ones. There's everybody's different take on it. So
that's why I think it's going to get thrown out, and it's not going to have any legs. But I do think it's interesting because I ran into a case recently where people were like, "You can't do that because I do something similar to that," and I always err on the side of, isn't this a meritocracy? If you can produce something better, isn't that what's important?
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I can do anything better than you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of and
it always drives me nuts. It's the most childish thing anyone could ever do. You're making a picture with the boat on it. I'm doing a picture with you. Can't do what I'm doing. I'm taking my balloon, going home. Like that. There's nothing more childish than that, and that's exactly what TST is doing here with this Baphomet statue, and that's exactly what I had to deal with my shit. It's just like, but
you know what?
Shut the fuck up.
That's one of the major distinctions in being an adult or being a child. There's that's the thing. It's like you can't. Because I have a tattoo shop in a mall, you can't have a tattoo shop in a mall. That's bullshit. That's my idea. No, that's not. You don't own that. You can't own it. That's why you can't copyright a recipe. Doesn't work. If it's a symbol that's licensed out or imagery that's licensed out to so many different people, just because somebody makes a similar product that's like Maxwell House suing Folgers Crystals. It's bullshit. Yeah. You can't. It's the Dunkin' Donuts is suing Starbucks. They have coffee. We have coffee. It's it's you just can't do that, and it's just sad because the person that feels that they're threatened by imitation or someone making a similar product, they're really a very insecure person, and the TST is a very insecure organization. That's why they're doing this. They want all the attention for themselves. It's a level of maturity, and I think it's a level of intellect as well. I'm sorry to say, but if you're gonna get that caught up in that, then you really don't have anything really going on in your life that's worth of substance because you're so concerned about what the Joneses are doing. It's okay to have envy, but not jealousy. That's the difference. You can be envious of somebody, but you can't be jealousy. Jealousy is you don't want them to have it, and that's bullshit. So I mean, it's if Sabrina the Teenage Witch wants to copy some of your imagery, then so be it. I don't know. I just think it's childish on their part. But you know what? They're gonna. and they're using this as a publicity stunt. So yes, it's not bad if they want to bring, if they're going to use this as a stunt to bring more people awareness to their nonsense and catch some of the stragglers and some of the satards that they want to ensnare in their little organization. That's great, but at the same time, it's like you're just looking stupid. But
Yeah.
that's the difference, because a wise man once said, "We are the wrong side network." So.
Yeah, so I'm going to take an opposing view of this now, playing a little devil's advocate, because Lauren asked me a question that, it just put me down a different path here. She says, Adam, how do you come at this from the perspective of a designer? And this is where we're going to have to get into some third side talking here, because if I designed that statue, I would have had to, one, trademark the specifics of it so that there's some weight behind any claim. And it would have to be different enough that you can't look at it and say, no, that's mine. That's ours for sure. And this is about branding ultimately, because in the same way that the Church of Satan uses the sigil of Baphomet, and this is referenced in Megas Gilmore's, I believe it was another third side intelligence right here, The Rise of the Satanic Unease, which we're going to get into here. Really great essay. But in the same way that we can have the sigil of Baphomet, a version of it that is minutely crafted as a trademark with the words Church of Satan to be our organization's logo. You can have that statue in that configuration, if it's filed properly, be your branded logo or your branded iconography. Where it came from, you can't, because that's in public domain. And so, as you had mentioned, Patrick, at the very beginning of this individual subject, it just has to be different enough. And the reality is that could be as little as a finish, size, altering of masculinity. It could be the size of the phallic, the shape of the eyes. As from a designer standpoint, as long as it's different enough and they're not claiming that it's you in the process. So if someone took the Church of Satan logo and just flipped the C, for example, and said, we are now the Church of Satan, this is our logo, and it's clearly the exact same one that we're using, except the C is flipped, well, that's a little too close. You're trying to act like you're us, and you're using our logo with the flip C to do it. So as a designer, that would be offensive. You're trying to steal our brand. These guys are not saying that they're TST. They're saying they're a Satan Hogwarts. So
exactly.
They're not trying to pretend they're political activists. That's what you do. So it's a completely different issue from a designer standpoint, from an activist standpoint, from a trademark standpoint. You can have the exact same business name as long as those businesses are in different fields. So one's a bookstore and one's a chimney sweep. And you can both have the exact same name. You can't cry trademark infringement because they're in different industries. This one is a fake school on a dramatized TV series, and the other is a political activist group. Completely different usage. So,
yeah, I mean, it's who has the bigger penis. That's basically what it is. Like, you can't, it's kind of, it's interesting to me because it's like, we would be happy that someone took something of ours and brought awareness to it, but they're just spoiled, they're just rotten, spoiled kids, and they're mad because somebody's copying them. But instead of looking at what it is, like you said, from an art standpoint, as I'm an artist sometimes, you change things, you do things, there's a thing in the tattoo industry where people bite off each other and people hate biters. And I'm like, yeah, well, you didn't come up with that either on your own. You bit that off of someone else. So I think it's a commonality, but I think you're right in what you said. Like, it's not changing the C to a backward C. I mean, they're not really representing the same thing. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. What I did love about this particular essay as a form of a response of what's happening lately with not only the Anton LaVey fictional character representation in American Horror Story, but also with the Baphomet statue in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is this idea that Magister LeVay wrote about the satanic unease and how it's sort of rearing its head. It's not quite a panic. It's not the satanic panic all over again, but it's a satanic unease. And as he references it, it comes in waves. You start to get one Christian idea of evil wave flooding into the media, and then there's a sort of surge behind it as the real wave comes in. I don't see a wave. I don't see a pervasive satanic unease that's any greater than there ever has been. Again, I don't get a daily inundation of it like administration does, so they may definitely see things that I do not. But I'm always in the news, like my head and my entire world is in the news. I'm consumed by media reports. And so all over, I would have been hit with this satanic unease fucking hammer over and over again throughout the years, and I'm not. Every once in a while, someone makes a comment or a TV show comes out misrepresenting Satanism, and we correct it.
Yeah.
That's it. People aren't coming out saying we need to destroy these devil worshippers so they don't get into the government. I mean, there's going to be crazy fanatics in any fringe, but the masses aren't doing that like they did in Satanic Panic because a couple TV shows referenced a couple iconography because they want to be evil and ooky. Well, of course they're going to fall back to our shit.
But look at how it's becoming popular. It's not really someone wrote in the chat an unease and ease. I think people are becoming more acceptable of this type of belief system and religion. But that's just where it's interesting because it's we're not having a panic. People aren't upset about it. People are actually digging the whole it's edgy and cool now. It's kind of come full circle. People can make their own judgments on it. And and I do appreciate shows like American Horror Story, even though I'm mad at how they represented it, and then how Sabrina, it's interesting to see it's becoming more prevalent. People are being more drawn to it. There's another show on Netflix where this lady, she makes cakes and stuff, and she's all goth and it's all evil and people just eating this stuff up. And I'm I think it's starting to change. I think that, I'm going to go on a limb here and I'll probably get some text messages later. But people are more into darker imagery now than they've ever been before. And I think that people want to, distance themselves from, Christianity, and they don't really believe that dogma. And, some people like Marilyn Manson, and some people like, country music. I think people are starting to get more in tune with, darker imagery, and it's becoming more acceptable. So I think it's a satanic ease than an unease. I think people are becoming more aware and more acceptable of it. And this comes through in waves too, like you said before, Rosemary's Baby was a great show. Great movie, and people started duplicating it in their commercials and things like that. It really paved the way, and then it went an opposite way. So it comes and goes. And I think the awareness of it and getting people more interested in it, I think is good. I just think it needs to be more responsible.
Dallas says it's the age of Satan after all. Mr. Victor Wickett says Satanism, the new zombie for popular culture. That's a really good point. In the same way that we have this resurgence of superhero movies right now, well, it used to be Westerns. But here's what I really want to get out, because we have a resurgence of interest in horror lately, whether it's TV shows or film. There's a resurgence of horror movies coming out, and really amazing horror like Hereditary and The Witch before it.
Oh, yeah,
that plays on tropes that have been around since the puritanical era of our country. So before we were even officially a fucking country, we as Satanists get all up in arms about people misunderstanding what we are as a religion. Okay, I understand that. But they're not trying to write a dissertation about Satanism. They just want to watch a fucking movie. They just want to enjoy some fiction and get scared for a little while. So if the director thinks the best way to do that is to provide some cult atmosphere and throw in a pentagram in the background and someone shouts Satan, that doesn't mean every Satanist should get up in arms about it. Hopefully we have real lives to get to that are much more important than railing against how X show got something so wrong and misrepresented us when they just said the word fucking Satan. Like, if that is the biggest problem in your life, you are the luckiest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah. You have really
honestly.
No, you have really no life. That's kind of interesting. Like, that's just...
It drives me crazy because we've been playing with devil tropes since film began. Since it was books. Like, this is nothing new. Why are we suddenly acting like it's some new surgence? It's always been there. It's ever present. We were based on the idea that we would use that iconography for our fucking benefit. So then we get upset when other people use it to scare people? Come on!
I'm not upset about it.
I'm getting upset because I'm getting sweaty.
I see that. I can hear it in your voice. Easy. Let's take it down.
Yeah, no, it's just like there's no...
Breathe through the mouth, Adam. Breathe through the mouth. It's just fine.
Yeah, and there's always that fear because we've lived through it of a resurgence of a satanic panic. And we do live in a time where, press are being turned into the enemy. There are press reporters with their permissions being stripped away. Like, we're in a time of real trouble. If truth does not matter anymore, then us trying to say who and what we actually are versus what other people is a genuine concern. So I understand that. I definitely get it. But if it's
news
only...
is irresponsible because it's not about being right, it's about being first. That's all
right, yeah. No, that's true.
They don't care about what's right or what's actually portrayed. It's about being first.
Yeah.
So, if they're going to report on things, we have to be very careful because, they're going to promote things that aren't actually factual. They just want to get it out there. They want to sensationalize. They want to make some money.
And that's why we have an administration. That's why we have the organization, in order to define and defend the religion in the world. So when a reporter does ask for a quote about this, Baphomet, we can say, no, that's not us. We don't care.
And we're fortunate that we have that our administration is of the intelligence that it is as well, because we don't have our high priest and priestess and the people in the organization. They are uber smart and intellectual, and they very understand this stuff. They've been understanding it since the beginning and during the days of LaVey. So we're fortunate in that respect that we have some very qualified, intelligent, well-spoken people that can guide through that quagmire and make sure the right thing is being said. It's not, and that's a relief for me, because it's like we're not, the other organization, they're led by idiots. So we are very fortunate that we have intelligent people that really understand what's going on and really know how to handle it in a most perfect way. So we should be grateful that, that they're able to do that, and it's not making things worse. They're doing what they're supposed to, and we're fortunate in that respect.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this is a fantastic essay. Everyone should definitely read it and understand the genuine concerns and history of it all before you form your opinion. Because, again, that's what the show is all about. You're supposed to be finding your own opinions through other contrasting ideas and ours, as Patrick and myself. I think we might get through a lot of these. Okay, so the next big story. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on this story?
No, I'm pretty good with that.
Okay.
There's not too much I want to, I like the show, so I think it was awesome. So I'm not really.
I'm gonna have to check out an episode.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting, and I appreciate what they've done with it, and I like, that's the thing is, you got to take everything as what it is. It's fictional, and they don't portray anybody that's real.
Yeah, and this is fuck, man. You see, I can't get off it now. I got to stay here just for a little bit longer. My biggest fucking complaint about people watching movies is that, or TV shows, is that they don't suspend disbelief. That they don't go into it understanding that this is fake and made up to entertain you. It's trying to take you on an emotional ride, and that's it. That's the whole point. It's not supposed to offend you personally. It's not supposed to fuck your mother. It's just supposed to take you on an emotional ride for the duration of the show or the film. That's it. And so when you get people that watch shows like, oh, it was so fake, or I just couldn't get into it. I didn't connect with it. That means you're lacking something as a human being. You should be able to suspend disbelief and put yourself, it's called fucking perspective. And to find Satanists unable to do that drives me fucking crazy. We're supposed to have a third side perspective. We're supposed to see A, B, and then see a fucking C in the middle in order to fucking discern truth, reality. And if you can't even put yourself in someone else's place for a fucking 2-hour film or for a 30-minute fucking TV show episode, how the fuck are you going to ever have a third side perspective? How can you be an individual? All you are is spewing out whatever rhetoric is force-fed into your ass, like some weird fucking frat game. Like, get it out of your okay.
Okay.
I'm not making sense anymore.
Do you feel better? Do you feel? You know, it's a good show when Adam loses his shit.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It just drives me crazy. Like, just you have to have perspective. If you don't have perspective, you can't suspend disbelief and buy into a story. And then if you
Adam, you're putting expectations on people who are as intelligent as you are, who don't see your point of view.
Right, but this is a fundamental state of being a Satanist.
Yeah, but not everybody's smart. Not everybody's like the majority of us. I mean, everybody has their own things, and everybody is aware in where they are, and you know it's hard for you to accept them that they're not on that type of intelligence. Like me, I can't get into zombies. Even though I know it's fake, even though I know that zombies can't exist, it's just too many holes. How come they don't deteriorate? How come you need blood and energy and food to pump the body to make your body? I can't get into it. Even though I know it's fake, even though I know it's bullshit, I still can't get into zombies. I'm like, that doesn't work. Now, if they had a disease and they were fucked up and they acted like that, that's fine. Eventually, they would starve to death. I can't watch The Walking Dead. I can't watch that fucking show. I'm sure it's a good show, but I can't get past the fact that the zombies have perfectly manicured nails. That bothers the shit out of me. I don't know why, but I can't get into it because it's too many holes for me. And I don't like zombies. And there's another reason I don't like zombies. Zombies bite you in the penis. Now they don't show that on TV, but that's where the blood is, and they know where to get you. So I can't. That's why I can't watch Jurassic Park, because the dinosaurs bite you in the dick, and that bothers me. I figured that would cheer you up a little bit. So,
what are you talking about?
I can't. There's too many plot holes in it, and it's too far fetched for me to watch. And yes, I should have a unique perspective on zombies, but I just can't get into it. I know it's fake. It's just
they're gonna bite my penis.
They don't show you that part, but they do. Trust me. When they're all attacking you and biting you, what do you think they go for first? They go for the goodies.
Okay, we've gone off the fucking rails now. It's my fault, but we need to get back on track. Oh yeah, they're mentioning in the chat room 28 Days Later. Ooh, love that show. Love that show.
Yeah,
and there's good reason.
I can get into that, but I can't get into like The Walking Dead, the dead rising from the grave. No, I can't believe that. That doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work. I know it's fake. I know it's phony. I know it's horror. To me, it's bullshit. Now I can believe vampires over fucking zombies. I don't know why, but I just can't. I recommend Castlevania too. That's a good one.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some California wildfires. Were you hoping we weren't going to get to this?
No, I'm glad because this is
there.
This is a huge deal. I mean, yeah, I know. I'm going there. Yeah, this is a huge deal. I mean, this is like property and loss. I mean, there's a story of a guy that was on his roof with a fucking hose trying to put the fire out. He got burned. He got fucked up. His dose of reality is going to change him forever. He is a different person. He is changed. And I hate to say this, it's tragic. People lose their homes. People lose property. The fire's out of control. At the same time, this is a dose of reality for people. This is dangerous. And it's it's going to put things into perspective for you too, because you know what, this is serious. And it's, you know what, think about the firefighters that are there 12-hour shifts,
Yeah.
fucking trying to put this blaze out, trying to save someone else's property and home and this and that, something that they're not vested in. They're doing what they're supposed to do and doing this job to contain this you know, fire is technically alive, this destructive force. I mean, that's just where it's horrible, and it's sad because, you know, the fire still come through this way. And I'm gonna say this: Donald Trump made some claims that, oh, it's the Forest Service, it's this, it's that. That's a government-funded program, dipshit. That's your fucking. That's what you're doing. You're supposed to give these people the support that they do, and then when the fire gets out of control to bash them, oh, they didn't do their job. Yeah, dipshit, because you didn't fund them correctly. Don't even now I feel like you now getting all fucking
Oh shit. Hulking out. Okay, so I want to lay down some facts about what's currently going on. There are 3 separate fires. Some of this data is a couple days old, so it has changed. The Woolsey fire is burned 93,000 plus acres. The Hill fire has burned over 10,000 acres, and there's a campfire that has not a campground campfire, but a campfire that's burned 20,000 acres. People are dead. People are like hundreds of people are missing. This is a genuine national emergency, and I believe. Well, actually, I don't know if it's being treated as such, but with the tweet storm that our president has been putting out, I don't think it has. Now, how does this stuff happen? And this is really why I wanted to talk about this, because we act like...
You're talking about climate change, aren't you?
Well, not entirely, no. I mean, it definitely has a lot to do with it. For example, I'm looking for my notes here. Climate change in causing more frequent and destructive fires with a warming climate, rising temperatures, and an increase in dry conditions in an already dry area leads to higher likelihood of drought. That dries out trees, making them kindling rather than living trees. And so, yes, climate change does have an effect, but human beings are much more of a direct factor into this, in California specifically. Realistically, when you look at a natural ecosystem, you have existing trees that die out and new trees come in. They can't grow without those old trees being removed somehow. And so the natural way of that is a fire. It comes in, scorches the earth, and life can then come out anew. This is a natural... I don't know if you guys can hear my dogs are barking in the background. It's a natural thing that happens all the time. And it's something that in the 1988 in Yellowstone, it was a regular cause. Like, it was a regular practice of controlled burning different areas of the forest in order to prevent the crowding of trees, of these, you know, wildfires that would, you know, go uncontrolled throughout the land.
And clearing the brush as well. That's another factor too.
Yeah.
That they clear the brush and they make sure that they have controlled fire so that that the ecosystem stays the way it's supposed to, but it's more controlled. They don't have the manpower or the funding to do what they're supposed to do, i.e. now we have all these raging blazes.
Yeah. Climate change is causing more frequent and destructive fires, but it's not just climate change. Now, the more population that we shove into a small space, the closer you have to get to wilderness. And in California's case, we have people living in wilderness, in the forest. If they're not right on the edge of those forests, they're in the forest. And those forests are packed. They haven't been control burned. And so they just go up like crazy. We're the reasons why we're getting killed, because we are overcrowding small areas and we're not allowing nature to clear it out. And if we are going to not rely on nature, then we have to do controlled burns. But again, that's a publicly funded entity. Now, as you had mentioned already, Patrick, nearly 60% of Californians, 33 million acres of forests, are under federal control, meaning it is up to the federal government to provide funds and manpower in order to control burn those areas. But you can't do that when you have people living there. That's I mean, they don't live on these federal lands, but they live adjacent to them, and that's part of the problem.
But if they were doing what they were supposed to on the federal level, it may have I mean, we're playing Captain Hindsight here, but it might have diverted that if it was controlled like it was supposed to, and they cleared the brush like they were supposed to. Maybe this wouldn't got out of control as it is, but this is just speculation at that point. I mean, there's a breakdown somewhere, and this is the result of it. I mean, a couple of years ago, they had the fire nados, which is a tornado of fire. I mean, that's something that's never happened before. So we're and like you said about living in our ecosystem, as history has taught us, people do not live in harmony with their ecosystem. So,
right. Well, especially not humans, yeah.
Oh no,
we're the worst.
Oh yeah, we're like a virus.
Yeah.
But this is there's a lot of things, a lot of factors that made this happen, and we can play, say, hey, well, if they had done this, they had done that. The thing is that this is out of control. It is burning up all kinds of forestry, the acres. Think about all the animals too. Mm-hmm. Even people's personal animals that they couldn't find or couldn't get out in time. Property damage, insurance. This is, like you said, it's a federal disaster, and this is where we need to step in and really take care of this. I mean, how far? I mean, how much more does it have to be a problem before you do something? Mm-hmm. And that's the sad thing. It's and fire is terrible. I myself have taken firefighter 1. That was something of mine that I wanted to be a firefighter. I went into a burned building, and let me tell you, it is hot. It's so hot that our face mask was starting to warp in the heat. It was that hot. I mean, I was wearing the clothes and I still got burned through my clothes. I mean, the fire was over 1,000 degrees in our controlled burn. I can't imagine what this is like. I can't imagine what these guys have to face. And it's terrible because it's such a destructive force. And like you said, there's so many factors. And I think that our government needs to step in and declare it a disaster and do what they need to do and put the funding there. But sorry, I'm getting a little off topic.
It's fine. I do genuinely think that we can't blame the federal, local governments, and we can't blame just climate change because that's too easy. That's taking us out of the picture entirely.
It's a combination of everything that caused this.
Like we need to take a realistic account and say, look, if we're going to live next to an ecosystem that needs to be burned periodically, then we have to expect that our house is going to catch on fire. It's the same thing if you live in coastal Florida or Louisiana. You have to expect that sea water will come into your fucking house at some point. It's a factor that if you're not considering it, you're out of your fucking minds. I live next to in blast radius of the volcano under Yellowstone. If that goes up, I'm
Mount
dead.
Vesuvius?
What's that?
Is that Mount Vesuvius?
Oh, I don't actually know the name of it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in the world. I mean, that's like, that's such I mean, that's like, the way they explain that volcano is that it would devastate the United States and the world. I mean, the amount of ash that would come out of it. So you fully know that at any moment it's possible that could explode and you would be dead as Dillinger.
Yeah, and so, we have to accept risks of the areas we live in, and we have to do everything we can. This is a realistic look at the world here, people, in order to minimize those risks. So if that means that you have to move because you don't want to suffer that horrific situation, well, do it. Move. And don't complain about it. Otherwise, do everything you can to have some sort of control of your environment. And not control as in you're trying to stop it from naturally occurring, but control as in helping it do what it needs to naturally do without you leaving so much of an imprint on it that it changes it ultimately. Because the truth is this is going to sound really hippy-dippy, but it's really how I feel about it. We're only here temporarily on this planet. We are like a little plague that is infecting this planet, and we will go the way of the dodo eventually. And the planet will shrug us off, and it will move on. But as long as we're fucking here, why do we want to destroy the one place in this universe that we are aware that we can actually exist? Why are we even looking to fucking Mars about terraforming it or creating colonies on Mars when we have problems here on our own home planet that are not able to be just whisked away by an election or a dream or just wanting it bad enough? We have to take a realistic look and say we are the caretakers of our only place in this goddamn galaxy, and we have to protect it. Or we have to collectively agree that we don't have much longer left, and we better start fucking right now. Like, that's it. If it's over, I'm going out fucking.
Yeah, I understand. That's just where, you know, I hear the sentiment of what you're saying, that we need to be more responsible with how we take care of our environment and how we do things. Absolutely. Why accelerate that? You know, this is, like you said, this is the only place we can live. This is our home. And, you know, here we go fucking it all up. And even though we have catastrophic events, we still don't be responsible. Look at Chernobyl. Prime example of fucking shit up. Did we do anything different? No. Look at Fukushima.
Yeah.
We do anything different? No. And it's still leaking about 300 million gallons of contaminated water into the fucking ocean. Oh well. It's not my problem. But that's just where, like, even though we have these catastrophic events, even though we see the damage that it can do, we still are irresponsible. So it's you know, it's sad because, you know, we can't really, you know, we can do an individual effort and try to bring awareness, but it has to be massive, and it has to be like, hey, we're going to take care of our planet. But it's never too late to start doing the right thing. And I think that's just where people don't understand is, you know, that, you know, yeah, one person can't make a difference, but globally we need to start taking care of our planet. And that's just a sad state of affairs. And these fires are just a prime example of us not taking care of our home. I mean, there's no other planet Earth. Like, I agree with you, and it's just sad that we have this situation, you know, but we still drive our cars, we drive fast, we, you know, get the high octane gas, we still do what we do. But I mean, we're not the people that are in charge of changing things. And when we do our voice and do this, that's the thing is, kind of off subject, but on subject, we can't lobby our government to do the right thing. All the corporations that pollute, they hire people and pay billions of dollars and put people in their pocket to make sure that doesn't happen. So it's we want it, and this has to be done, but not everybody's gonna, you know, it's not like, hey, a GoFundMe page, we all need to hire a lobbyist to push the not fuck the world agenda and not, like, you know, ruin our planet agenda. That's the problem. We can't make that kind of change. We can do it at a conscious level and spread awareness, but it has to be done on such a high level that we are not in the position or the power to make radical change like that. And the powers that be understand what's going on. Don't get me wrong here. There's enough data and evidence and shit that they get all the time. But whoever is paying them, fuck them. That's how they feel. Exxon Valdez says, look, we need to drill in Teddy Roosevelt's head in South Dakota. There's a bunch of oil there. Here's a bunch of money. They don't give a shit. Of course they'll do it. But that's just where it is. Like, we understand, we want to take responsibility, but we are not the powers to be to make that change and make that responsibility. No matter how loud we protest, no matter how loud we do it, problem is that we don't have the lobbyists or the agenda to go there and make radical change.
That's why we need to get money out of politics. Gerald has a really great comment here that spurred some emotion. And it says, because we're individuals more interested in self than the greater good. And Lauren responded to that saying, it's very selfish to want to save the planet because I'm one of the individuals who live on it. And that's kind of the reference I was going to give back to him, is that we have to get out of this idea of this greater good reference, because it's not a greater good. That's not why I'm doing it, and that's not why I care about it. That's not why I'm trying to inform other individuals about it. It's because I want to live. It's self-interest 101. I can't live here if it's poisoned. That's it. And we are actively poisoning our planet. So if we want to live, we have, it's self-interest. That's it. It is not a greater good. It is not for a kumbaya, a happy feel good for anyone else. It is for me. I give a fuck if you guys die. I don't want to die. I want to live.
Did anybody watch Total Recall, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they had a colony on Mars, and Cohagen upped the price of air? That's what you have to look forward to, fuckfaces. That's exactly what it is. You're going to have to buy more air, cheap dome, shit like that. that might even happen on this planet if we don't take care of it. They're going to have to build a dome to shield us. And we're going to have to pay for oxygen and shit like that. So,
yeah. It's okay. So we're over time here. And I think we kind of covered the wildfires. It's not just a government issue. It's not just a climate issue. It is a human issue. And we have to take a human approach, meaning multi-leveled. Like we all have to be a part of the solution. We can't just push it off to someone else. And it's not because we're looking for some, everyone hold hands and sing songs situation. It's because we just want to live. That's it.
No singing songs?
I mean, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. So this is a good one. Thanks very much for allowing me to be a part of this. This is always always a fun experience.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we sign off here?
It's funny you mentioned that because there actually is.
Oh, nice.
Apparently, there are some people that don't agree with what we do or make outrageous claims about us. So this is an open invitation. If you feel that we have copied you or wronged you in any way whatsoever, and you feel the need to confront us, you are welcome to come on this program and challenge us directly. That's open to anybody. If you have an issue with myself or with Reverend Campbell and you want to take issue with one of us or something we've done or something from us, this is your opportunity. You are more than welcome to come on this show and put us on blast and allow us to defend ourselves and discuss it as adults. I personally believe that if you have an issue with somebody, you should be able to confront them on any forum that you want. Mm-hmm. And this is an open invitation to some people, individuals that may not agree with what we say or what we do or accuse us of anything. That's fine. We don't have any animosity toward anybody. But if you feel the need that you want to do that, you are more than welcome to come on here and confront us.
Yeah.
We welcome it.
And here's the thing is that I don't block people in any social media. I don't hide comments. I let them be seen, and if they are actively outrageous stuff, then I may put them aside. But I don't prevent anyone from communicating. I think it's a good idea to have open, clear communication. It's only when you're afraid, when you're fearful, when you're terrified that other people can find out who you really are, that you don't want to have open communication. I got nothing to hide. So I'm always willing to have an honest adult conversation. It's when it devolves into childish references or, screaming like I was just ranting for the topic's sake. That's when I don't like the communication because it's no longer constructive, And the truth is I don't ever seek to be liked by anyone. I seek to represent myself in the best way that I feel that I can. And if that means some people go along for the ride, awesome. And if that means some people are turned off, I understand. But what I don't enjoy is when people make up straight up lies, block me so I can't argue the truth behind those lies, and other people get misinformation. So I would love to have an open discussion.
And I want to do a shout out to Reverend Thorne. He had a sentiment about us in our podcast and being a little bit more responsible and being, because we are in the public image. I mean, anybody want to look up satanic content? I mean, me and Adam are putting ourselves out here for ridicule, scrutiny, criticism, and we do this because we enjoy it and we enjoy what we do. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that I think that is, I appreciate the sentiment that he said, and I take it to heed. And if anybody wants to challenge us, they can come on here. And I want to congratulate Les Hernandez for his winning the Satanic Warlock.
Hell yeah.
Les is fighting the good fight, so let's give him our support and everything. So it's unfortunate that we have to, as people, we have to succumb to certain things, but Les is fighting the fight the best way he can, and my hat's off to him. And he's I congratulate him on his winning. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, well, thank you all for joining us in the live chat room. You guys have been really on it today. Patrick, it's always great having a conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining me, man.
Oh, no problem. And keep those checks coming, people.
All right, until we can speak of the devil again, hail Satan.
Hail Satan.